Our last panelist had served in the U.S. military, so I ask you to welcome the Senior Anti-Terrorism Force Protection Officer for all coalition forces in Iraq and former commander of Forward Operation Base Ashraf, Colonel Wesley Martin.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Shelby. I always welcome this opportunity to speak, and it is very difficult because of my brothers and sisters at Ashraf and knowing what they are enduring. Let me make a couple things clear. As the anti-terrorism officer for all coalition forces in Iraq, the first anti-terrorism officer, as the base commander of Camp Ashraf, what I wish to make clear is the People's Mujahideen organization of Iran is not a terrorist organization. The second point, that designation should never be used to appease an oppressive, reactionary regime such as Iran. I am often asked why we fight. When we're in the middle of a fire engagement, what are we fighting for? Are we fighting for the Constitution, the flag, the nation? I always respond, we serve the nation, we defend the Constitution, we rally to the flag, and we fight for the one on our left and the one on our right. I am pleased to say many times I would leave the perimeter, and I always was proud to have the PMOI on my flank, and we served closely together, and we suffered many times closely together. Turned over their weapons, and they accepted protected person status. No one despises war more than the warrior. Also, no one despises the breaking of an agreement. In one of the agreements, Article 10 says the articles of this agreement shall remain in effect until expressly superseded either by mutually acceptable amendments and additions or by provision in an appropriate agreement of both sides. That was not accomplished, and this agreement was totally violated by the United States of America. The State Department claims its intelligence specialists have gathered information about the PMOI. This is the same organization that sent Colin Powell to the United Nations with a bunch of faulty information. And they're serving Secretary Clinton no better than they did Colin Powell. This is the same organization that paid Chalabi $33 million for info, despite warnings from the Central Intelligence Agency that Chalabi cannot be trusted. That info was used as justification to go into Iraq after Chalabi was sent to Tehran to make sure this was acceptable and Tehran would bless the United States going in. Of course they did, because they immediately started mobilizing their forces, and as the anti-terrorism officer for Iraq, I saw it happening. They already had the Badator. They already had a Skiri set up in southern Iraq. And I was watching, and I was fighting in every way possible. They already took over Basra, then they went into Diwanir, they went into Kabbalah, and the rest of the region. By the time I returned to Iraq, they had jumped over Baghdad and now were in Diyala province trying to push the Sunnis out. And Diyala, of course we all know, is where Ashraf is located. Upon returning to the States, I went to the State Department and I started working closely with them on behalf of Major General Jack Gardner. And General Gardner and I stayed in close contact while at the Pentagon. I was again working with State Department trying to get them to change their positions. The allegation that the Kurds attacked, we addressed it. And with Foreign Minister Zaburi's letter, I proved, and he backed it up, the attack did not occur. Yet, several months later, when the listing came out again, that claim was there. I went to the State Department and I said, what are you doing? We proved it wrong. I always took time in Ashraf to visit the compounds. All the attacks going on Ashraf, we have to really respect and admire the strength and the commitment of the people at Ashraf. Let's give a round of applause to the residents of Ashraf. The only people who have been denied access to any of those compounds is the Western delegations who have asked the Maliki government to go up and examine what's going on. Then we have the allegation they still have weapons.